Hello, I am Brandon Isenbarger, and this is Kevin Walsh, and welcome back to the BK Breakdown.
My mama called, see you on TV, sunset shit done changed. Ever since we was on, I dreamed it all. Ever since I was young, they said I won't be nothing. Now they always say congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation. They ain't never had the dedication. People hate and say we changing, look, we made it. Yeah, we made it.
Welcome back, you guys, to another episode of the BK Breakdown. We are very happy to be back on this Friday after 3 games yesterday on Thanksgiving, 3 NFL games.
Pretty good. They were very good games.
Pretty good games. I mean, they all definitely showed some good characteristics for the teams moving forward on like playoff picture and all that. I mean, it definitely helps us know a lot more about these teams going into this playoff stretch.
It showed the true colors of some of the teams.
Oh, definitely.
And I thought it was a pretty good kickoff to the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, got to watch some games while we were eating our Thanksgiving meals, and definitely fun for us to watch. I mean,
hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's good. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and we're really happy to have you guys watching us today.
Yeah.
But we wanted to first start off talking a little bit about the first game yesterday. And that game was
The Vikings-Lions game.
Vikings-Lions game.
I thought the Vikings looked fantastic.
They did. However, the scoreboard didn't show it. They only won by 7.
But they got off to a really, really good start.
Really good start.
With Case Keenum throwing for 282 passing yards, a pair of 2 touchdowns, and his tight end looked fantastic as well. Kyle Rudolph, 63 receiving yards.
And he caught those 2 touchdowns from Case Keenum. And so Case Keenum looked good. Some really tight spirals, just looked really good.
Yeah.
But that gets us into our first question, and that is, are Case Keenum and the Vikings a true Super Bowl contender?
Well, I thought Case Keenum looked really good last week. They were really good week before, and just keep going, keep going. He looks really good. Starting off, I think are they 9-0?
They're 9 are
Case
they?
Case Keenum's I think undefeated.
He might be. And the thing is, though, is that they're winning games with Case Keenum at quarterback.
I think, was it last week or the week before, they were considering starting Teddy Bridgewater.
They were. He came back from his injury, and Mike Zimmer ended up deciding he's like, we're going to go with the guy who's winning.
Yeah, and which is a good idea.
Which is a great idea. He's throwing the ball great. We watched him yesterday. He was throwing it very confident. He was very confident in the pocket. He's definitely playing really well, and it definitely helps that he has his good running back right now, Latavius Murray, also playing well.
He's coming around. He's starting to look good. I mean, I know Dalvin Cook got injured. Dalvin Cook was a possible Rookie of the Year.
He was one of the top running backs.
Him and Jerick McKinnon are pretty good.
They are.
They're looking pretty good.
They're definitely taking away a little bit of attention from Case Keenum, allowing him to be a little bit more successful in the field. He's
got Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, too. 2 great receivers.
Great receivers.
Fantastic.
And Adam Thielen was one of those guys who was just kind of like, that wide receiver too, that's decent. But now he's looking like a top.
I think he's wide receiver I think he's ranked 3 in ESPN leagues.
Yeah. Everyone always considered him behind Stephon Diggs, but he's starting to look better than Stephon Diggs. And his receiving core is looking good. The Vikings defense is looking good. So I definitely see the Vikings being Super Bowl contenders.
Yes, especially with that strong defense they have. I mean, defense wins champions.
They do.
So
they do have a strong defense, and they're feeling good.
I will say they need to work on their special teams with Kai Forbath.
They do. I mean, a few of the when they're protecting Kai Forbath on his kicks, they're allowing. I think they allowed 2 blocks.
That's crazy. Wow.
A blocked extra point and a blocked field goal, and one that was actually blocked because of an offside, but they ended up getting
first down.
They ended up getting a first down for being blocked because of the offside guy. But they definitely need to work on that stuff. But they're looking like a really hot team right now, and definitely, I see them as Super Bowl contenders and potentially beating the Eagles in that NFC championship if they end up working out to be those two. But some might be scared that
because
the Eagles are looking good, but Case Keenum, people don't want to think of Case Keenum being a top quarterback in the league, but
I think this season he's looking like one so far.
He sure is. He sure is. But on the other side of the ball,
The Lions.
The Lions.
I thought they looked all right. Matthew Stafford.
Played decent.
Did he throw 2 interceptions?
That
Or
sounds right
one?
to me. I am not quite sure.
Okay.
But
You know who does look good on the Lions? Marvin Jones.
he does. He looks really good.
After that bye week, he is averaging 17 fantasy points per week, which is insane.
He is. And first, I want to
Mhm.
show a little bit of a highlight from yesterday's game
Mm.
for Marvin Jones. And here it
Yeah.
is. So Marvin Jones right here is catching a pass from Matthew Stafford over 2 Vikings defenders for a touchdown with a flag on the play for pass interference. You can see his little celebration right there, but a little Randy Moss action right there.
That was an incredible catch.
It sure was. And
Over one of the most arguably best corners in the league, Xavier Rhodes.
he is. And Vikings are one of the top defenses.
Yes.
And this kind of gets us into our question for Marvin Jones, and that is Marvin Jones a top 5 fantasy receiver?
Definitely. After watching him for the past 5 weeks, after that bye week, I mean, he's averaging 17 points per week in FPPR leagues. And I would say he's the number 1 receiver on the Lions for sure.
Oh, for sure. Ahead of
I mean,
Golden
with
Tate.
having Golden Tate on the team, it's Golden Tate.
It is, and he's good. And
He's good.
Marvin Jones had 2 touchdowns yesterday,
He looks great, though.
109 yards, and he is definitely looking like one of the top receivers right now.
It really helps him with Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback as well. I think he
is.
broke the record for the most passing yards for a Thanksgiving game as a quarterback.
right?
I think so.
And the thing is about Marvin Jones is that he is a huge threat on the deep ball.
Mm-hmm.
He
If you throw a ball up to him, he'll go get it.
and that's why you saw in that video the Vikings were
Yeah.
double teaming him, and
They're holding him. 2 of the best corners on the team are on top of him.
yeah, and he is ranked, I think, 15 positional ranking for fantasy and
Yes.
receiver.
But after
category.
this week, his ranking is going to skyrocket. He's
And
going-
that is basing it on the entire season. But
Yeah.
if you were to put him, I don't know the stat on this, but if you were to put him in the past 5 weeks
I
in
think
the ranks of receivers, I could see him being a top 3 receiver.
Do you think that bye helped him?
The bye did help him because I think ever since that bye, as you said, ever since that bye, 17 fantasy points on average,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and that's ever since the bye might have been just his spark, right?
Mm.
And Matthew Stafford's really liking him as a target.
They have good chemistry.
Great chemistry, and the Lions did lose the game, but they would have been way out of it if it wasn't for Marvin Jones.
Yeah, after that late interception by Matthew Stafford, it was game over.
Yeah, but that game was, my opinion, I thought that was the best game of the day.
I would have to agree.
I mean, it's always great. I mean, the Vikings, man, and the Lions play every Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Always good to see them play, and then a little
Vikings action.
NFC North
Yeah,
matchup.
that was a good game.
Good to see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the next game,
Yes.
Chargers Cowboys.
Wow.
That was a blowout.
I was very surprised by that. 28-6. Philip Rivers. How do you think he looked?
He looked amazing.
He did.
He looked like that quarterback he's meant to look like his
Yeah.
entire career.
I know.
And he was 82%. He had 82% completion
Did you
percentage.
say 82?
82.
Wow.
Very high for a quarterback,
That is.
especially against top NFL corners, right?
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
434 yards passing and trace touchdowns. He looked
Mhm.
really good. And
His QBR was 150.
that's very high. That's very, very high.
Yeah.
But Philip Rivers playing good really helps
Someone else.
someone else.
Mm-hmm. And that someone else is Keenan Allen.
It is.
He looked fantastic. And don't you have a video to show him?
I do.
Yes.
So here's a little highlight of Keenan Allen on a nice touchdown that he had from Philip
That
Rivers.
was a crazy touchdown.
So you can see right here, he's beating the Cowboys guy right around the corner, and he breaks 1 tackle and 2 tackles. And then he gets a 3rd and then a 4th broken tackle before he goes in for the celebration to extend the lead in the 4th quarter of the Cowboys. Pretty much seal the game. And he has shown to be a big target for Philip Rivers ever since he's coming back after his injury last season.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing all right at the beginning of the year, but these past 2 weeks he's been you could say he's the hottest receiver these past 2 weeks.
Yes, you could. I mean, he's averaging, I think, like 30 points per week over the past 2, which that's fantastic for Keenan Allen.
Yeah, but I guess the question we have about Keenan Allen is Keenan Allen's value coming back? And we're going to say yes on that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 34 fantasy points last week and 28 this week, which, with Philip Rivers throwing to him, they have that great chemistry that they've been having over the past few weeks. I mean, they're looking pretty good.
They are. And as Keenan Allen being the number 1 receiver, everyone expects a lot out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually drafted pretty high in our league.
He was.
And
he's looking like a top 10 receiver in fantasy right now.
He's got a lot of momentum right now, and he's playing very well. And that's really good, though, for teams who have him on their fantasy team for good playoff pushes, last second, get in the playoffs, or just to be ready for the playoffs.
Especially half PPR. I mean, he was 11 for 14 on targets. That's pretty good.
14 targets is really high.
Mm-hmm. And he was 11 for 14 on them.
That's pretty good.
I know.
It's pretty good. And he's, in that video, he's making great moves, absolutely exposing the Cowboys' defense.
I definitely think his value is coming back.
I do too. But we talked a little bit about the Chargers and how good they looked, but who looked really bad? And I think we got to say that as the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, Dak Prescott is he's struggling especially without Zeke, and that leads to our next question. Is Dak's magic running out without Zeke?
I'm gonna say yeah, it is.
You think so?
I think Zeke being gone is absolutely destroying Dak, and his magic is running out. And the main reason his magic is running out is because Zeke is such a big distraction to defenses that are going against the Cowboys. He's such a big distraction, and he's getting a lot more teams are just totally trying to target him and stop him.
And without Zeke, Dak's, in my opinion, one of their number 1 rushers. Because, I mean, Rod Smith,
Alfred Morris.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing crazy good. Are you kidding me?
No.
I mean, Zeke is the guy in Dallas. But Dak, the past 2 weeks, combined 2 fantasy points after he got negative fantasy points last week. And then this week he only got, I think, around 3 fantasy points. Mm-hmm. And 5 interceptions over the past 2 weeks. That's what's losing him a lot of points.
He completed 20 for 27 on pass attempts, which is not terrible.
It's not terrible. But I also think he's throwing a lot of short passes.
Especially to like his running backs like Rod Smith and Alfred Morris, which means someone else is not getting the other passes.
Yeah, I mean, when he only throws for 180 yards and he completes 20 for 27, it means a lot of them are short passes. And
that does not help some of the receivers on the Dallas Cowboys.
It does not. I mean, he's looking scared while he's in the pocket, and he's throwing the ball really short, and it's also because he can't throw deep to one of his top receivers.
Well, especially when his line, I thought he had one of the best offensive line in the league.
He does, and I think they're still looking all right.
But
he's just looking scared.
Dak.
He's not finding anyone open, and he's just scrambling, and he's just not looking good. He's fumbling the ball. He's throwing interceptions. He's forcing passes. But Dak not playing well is definitely hurting.
They're Cowboys receivers, which one of them is Dez Bryant. I mean, he should be the number 1 receiver on that team. But I think yesterday it was like, who was the number 1 receiver?
I'm not sure. I was seeing a lot of Terrence Williams and Cole Beasley.
I was too.
But with Dak playing bad, is Dez on the downfall?
I think yeah, especially for fantasy owners like you. It's scary because with Dak only having maybe 3.2 fantasy points yesterday and negative fantasy points the week before, Dak is he's not looking good, especially for Dez to catch his passes.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said he only had 5 targets, and he only had 3 catches for 37 yards. And
he had that one good catch.
He did.
But that's all I saw really from Dez.
You didn't really hear his name too much yesterday. No. And you haven't really heard his name when it comes to touchdowns these past 6 weeks, where he hasn't had a touchdown in the past 6 weeks. And he does have 2 tough games coming up. Isn't that right? He's got the Seahawks and the Eagles?
The last 2 weeks, he's against home for Seattle and then at Philadelphia, which those are probably one of the toughest 2 defenses in the NFL.
Okay. So
the Eagles are looking red hot right now, and the Seahawks, even though they lost Richard Sherman, they're still the Seahawks D.
yeah. So I definitely see Dez still having some struggles getting into the end zone.
And Dak is he's not looking good.
And a little bit more on Dak in that Dez combo is with Dak, he's starting to become one of those guys who's you shouldn't start in fantasy.
He's starting to become a guy who should I start Dak over maybe like a Blake Bortles or a Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I mean at least those guys are getting you 15 points or something like that, and Dak is. As you said last week, negative points. You would have been better off starting no quarterback than starting him. He hurts your team more than But he's definitely coming one of those guys where you're like, should I start a guy like Blaine Gabbert? Or I mean, obviously like a Tyrod who's looked pretty good when he came in for Peterman last week. But Dez is becoming
a questionable
quarterback.
In fantasy.
Even though he is, I think, the 7th ranked quarterback in fantasy.
Well, after this week,
it's going to go down.
It's going to go way down.
But in a lot of football is momentum, and he's not feeling good right now. So, I mean, although season long, he's still looking decent. These past couple weeks is looking bad for him. He's not playing good football.
This is where it counts. Playoff Bush. Is that like 2 or 3 straight losses?
It is, and they're hurting their chances a lot because they are behind the Eagles in their division and the Redskins.
Yeah.
And the Redskins got a win.
They're lucky, yeah. And obviously the Giants, but.
And the Redskins got this win, and we want to talk a little bit about that game.
Mm-hmm.
And the Redskins did come out on top.
Although the game was off to a slow start.
Very slow start. There was not much scoring. It almost made me want to just turn off the TV, honestly. Mm-hmm. But Kirk Cousins, he looked, didn't look anything special.
Nothing too great,
but nothing that did him too bad where he was going to give them a loss against the
Kirk Cousins,
Giants.
He had 242 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, which did cost them.
Did cost them points. Pick six, which ended up getting...
It was a high game after that pick six.
Yeah, and it gave the Giants their first touchdown of the game after the Redskins' defense was looking really good. But, so Kirk looked all right.
Jameson Crowder
is a guy we really want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of helped out Kirk a lot.
He performed out of his mind.
His career high.
Yeah, I think it was his first touchdown this season.
And 140 yards, which is a career high for him in yards. With I think, how many catches was it? 7 catches?
Yeah, I think something like that.
7 catches for 141, a touchdown. But James Crowder looked great, and he's having some patience when he's running his routes. I noticed he's not rushing his routes, and he's quick, 5'9" guy.
He had a really good catch for a good first down, which helped him lead to a touchdown.
Yeah, he looked really good, and he looks really promising for fantasy, at least looking forward, at least. But
another guy we want to talk about is Samaje Perine.
Samaje Perine, the fill-in, right?
How do you think he looked?
I thought he looked good. And
do you think Samaje Perine is going to be as productive for the fill-in while Thompson and Kelly are out?
I'm going to say yes on that. And the reason for that is because he got, I think, 14 fantasy points this last week.
Mm-hmm.
And how many did he have the week before that?
Like 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
He's looking pretty good. He's getting a lot of carries with 23.5 carries on average these past 2 games since he's been starting.
How many yards is he averaging?
And 108.5.
Wow.
Which is good.
I'll take that.
Over 100-yard games are always good for running backs.
Good.
And
especially for fantasy owners, and he's only owned in, I think, about 77% of ESPN leagues, which isn't all of them. I know it's a lot, but it's not all of the leagues in the country.
You got to go after him and get him if he's there, because he's the number 1 running back in Washington.
He's going to get all the carries.
Yeah.
Over Byron Marshall, who's didn't look good last night.
Yeah, and one of the things too about P. Ryan is the biggest thing I think when it comes to like just having success in the NFL and also being successful in fantasy football is how much opportunities you get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not all wide receivers are going to get the same amount of targets. Most quarterbacks are actually getting the same amount of opportunities because they're snapping the ball the same amount of times. But when it comes to running backs, they're also one of the things where the more carries you get, the more chances you get to be successful in getting a lot of fantasy points or being successful for your team.
Well, the Redskins are giving him a great opportunity to be a starting running back for the Redskins.
So he might not even just be a fill-in option. Even though Chris Thompson's looked really good. And Rob Kelly's always been that big back for them. P. Ryan looked good in college. And he was one of the top running backs back in college. And he was a little underrated coming into the draft. And
I think
the Redskins got him.
I think Jay Gruden likes him.
He does like him.
He's starting to like him. He's giving him a lot of carries, which is helping him immensely.
Yeah, I mean, not many teams are this deep at running back in the league. With the Redskins having not necessarily three top-tier running backs, but they've got three mediocre guys who can all play.
At the beginning of the season, I think he was the third-string running back, and now he's RB2, possibly RB1 running back in fantasy.
Yeah.
So pick him up if you have the opportunity.
Definitely. He's getting high workload, and he's looking great, and he's going to continue to get those carries, especially as the Redskins are playing well and are winning games. I mean, when they're up, they're going to be running the ball a lot.
Yes, that's very true. But the Redskins look really good against this Giants team, which we want to talk about a little bit right now.
We do.
Especially Eli Manning. He did not look very good last night. 113 passing yards. Was it one interception?
He had one interception.
Which,
no touchdowns.
He did not look good.
And the Giants actually didn't even have an offensive touchdown in the game. So the entire Giants offense looked bad.
But, Eli Manning is not looking great, which leads us to our next question.
It does.
Do you think the Giants should start Geno Smith over Eli Manning?
No. Heck no. Geno Smith is not the guy. He has a career QBR of 45.8.
Wow.
Very bad, right? And
I think Eli's QBR was 84 last night,
and in one of his worst games of the year.
Yes.
So imagine Geno Smith performing about half as well as Eli did last night. I almost guarantee you that he would probably only have like 50 yards passing.
And the Giants, they're very low on wide receivers right now.
They are.
Who are their top wide receivers?
Roger Lewis and Tavares King.
Wow.
And it's all. I mean, granted, they are hurt. They're top guys, and Odell and Sterling Shepard and Brandon Marshall. They're top three, banged up, and Eli's just not getting.
He needs to pass the ball more,
but he needs guys that he can trust,
like Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's a great example.
Evan Ingram's the guy he can trust, isn't it? But what about last night?
He corralled only 3 targets for or 3 receptions for
18 yards.
Wow. That's not good.
And he's been his guy ever since those guys have been out.
He's arguably one of the best rookies this season as a tight end.
And he's definitely the best rookie tight end. Sorry about that, guys. But Evan Ingram is his top target guy right now.
He's struggling lately with drops. He's dropped a lot of passes over the past few weeks, which is not good for Eli, because it looks like Eli's starting to really like him.
He is, and it's definitely a problem though when Eli's top guy is a rookie. it's definitely
scary to think about.
It is scary, and I think that's why people need to stop with the blame on Eli. I mean, I know he does play in the city of New York, which is a city that expects a lot.
Expects to be one of the best NFL teams in the country.
And the best team in New York.
The New York Jets.
The New York Jets are better than the New York Giants right now, and
they're projected to not even win a single game this season. The Jets were.
Yeah, by Fox Sports' Colin Cowherd.
Yeah.
and he projected them to go 0-16. They're actually doing a lot better than that right
They
now.
are.
So Jets are not looking too bad,
Cowan's
but the
looking
Giants
good.
are looking
Cowan
very
and
bad.
Rob Anderson's got good chemistry on that team.
They do, and it's definitely a problem for New York, and their coaching isn't looking too good with
But
Ben McAdoo.
You shouldn't even think about benching Eli Manning. I mean,
Super Bowl winner,
yeah.
and you can't blame him too much when guys around him aren't doing too well, and not even receivers and tight ends, even running back.
Well, I was watching the game last night, and he threw some pretty good passes, but his wide receivers just did not catch them.
Yeah, and you'd think, hey, when the receivers aren't doing good, we got to go to the running back. But then you got Orleans Darkwa, who played
Iffy.
very
Not that good. Not that good.
I would argue very bad with only 2.7 yards per carry last night, and only
Total of 30 rushing yards.
Total 30 rushing yards. So
And then they also have the problem with the running backs with Darkwa, Shane Green, and Wayne Coleman. Can't figure that out.
they can't figure it out. There's no threat. That defenses are not trying to stop the running game of the Giants. They don't really care. They're like, they're not going to run over us anyway, so we're going to stop Eli Manning, the Super Bowl winning quarterback.
The Giants D is keeping that team up, in my opinion. They shut down the Chiefs last week. They didn't shut them down, but they held them to 9 points, was it?
That sounds right to me.
And they got a pick 6 this week.
They did.
Against Kirk Cousins, a great
pick 6, which actually kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Until they ended up their offense being able to score nothing else.
But it's hard to have your team do good when the defense is on more than half the time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, their defense is out there a lot.
I think Eli Manning wasn't on the field for about 10 minutes of the second or third quarter. I can't remember, but I just think that the Giants are struggling right now.
They are struggling, even after they had a good win.
They need to figure things out.
They do. But figuring that out does not involve benching Eli Manning for a guy like Geno Smith.
Yes.
Maybe if their backup was a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick or Josh McCown or something like that, who are known to be pretty good backups. But now they're starters, obviously, because of Jameis Winston being out. And
do you think they're just waiting until next year to figure things out?
I think they're kind of at the point where they're kind of hoping they lose now, man. I mean, they want to get that top pick. I mean, people are going to be wanting that quarterback. But I think...
Or running back, honestly.
You're going to need to get other positions. I mean,
Odell
will be back.
Odell, Brandon Marshall, and Sterling Shepard's sick.
Sterling Shepard will be back this season.
This
Yes,
season.
definitely. He might be back this week. I mean, is he back this week?
He's
sick. Questionable. Is he questionable for this week? I think he is. Sterling Shepard.
He did not play last night.
Oh, last night. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. He did not play last night, but I could definitely see him playing next week. But
the Giants need to figure things out.
They need to figure things out, and I think they will. They will figure it out. But people are gonna be calling for Ben McAdoo's head and Eli Manning's head. So that's the two most powerful people on the Giants team.
But they should not bench Eli Manning.
They should not. But yeah, we really liked those Thanksgiving games yesterday on that Thursday.
I think the best game was easily the first game. Vikings-Lions.
Vikings-Lions game was good. It showed how good the Vikings are.
They look good. They're feeling good.
They're feeling good?
Feeling good, yes.
That's right.
Easy. I think they are definitely a Super Bowl contender for this year.
Yeah, so we like the we like the Vikings. Yes. The Lions still look decent.
They look okay with Marvin Jones and Matthew Stafford. Starting to have some really good chemistry.
That's right. And then we move on to that Chargers game. Phillip Rivers looked really nice, and so did Keenan Allen, which is going to help them with a playoff push in that semi-weak AFC West right now. And but then Cowboys look going downhill without Zeke. Not looking too good.
Yeah. I don't think when will Zeke be back? Will he be back?
I think it's like week 15 or 16, if I'm right. But
it's not going to help them.
They're probably going to be already out of the playoff conversation by then.
I mean, look at those last two games: Seattle and at Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That's when Zeke gets back. Two of the arguably the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, but then the Giants, they're not looking too good.
They are not. And then Redskins, I think
they look pretty good.
They're definitely pushing for that wild card.
I know they lost Chris Thompson, Mr. Do-It-All, and then Rob Kelly, obviously great ground and pound running back. But I think Samaje Perine will start to get his bearings with the Redskins offense, and I think he's looking pretty good.
He is. The Redskins will be looking to get that wild card behind the Eagles, who are pretty much almost a lock for that NFC East division.
Mm-hmm.
But that's leaving very little room for the Cowboys.
Yes,
Just got to say.
It is.
America's team, man, they might be left out this year after a great season last year. Rough playoff time, but
two of the best rookies.
That's right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, pretty much the two that were leading the Rookie of the Year conversation. But hey guys, so thanks for watching, and make sure you like this video.
Yes, definitely subscribe.
We need more subscribers, guys.
Like it.
If you want to see when our videos are uploaded, subscribe, and also hit that bell icon right next to the subscribe button, which will also give you a notification when we post a video.
And definitely feel free to ask any questions, NFL related, fantasy related.
Any sport related.
Yes.
We ask questions, we'll answer them on the show. We can answer them to you in the comments. And you also, even if you want to ask us questions on our Twitter at the BK Breakdown, we can answer them there. You will also know there as soon as we upload. We are putting that on our Twitter. We'd love to get our follower game up on that, so definitely hit that up.
So just try to ask questions before the NFL season ends. Any fantasy questions of who to start, if trade's fair.
That's right. I mean,
Feel free to
the season's running out.
put your favorite team in. Ask if they're gonna make the playoffs.
Yep. Need a little score prediction for a game. We got you. But yeah, guys, we really enjoyed being here after our second episode, and
thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. We hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And we will be back very soon for our third episode.
Yes. Goodbye.
See ya.